Yes, people, and it's the international break. I know, one absolute stinker. But the Champions League group stage draw came out about a week ago. So today, I am doing my full predictions for who's going to come top, second, third, and fourth in each and every group. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this and not a football shirt, it's because it is absolutely sweltering in the UK right now, or at least in London it is. It's like 32 degrees, which anyone that's in London will know the UK is not built for hot weather. But regardless, let's get straight into it. So, of course, we've got the tier maker here. First, second, third, and fourth for each group. Let's start with Group A, which is Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. So for me, I think this one's pretty clear cut, to be honest, if you're looking at first and second. Now, first has to be Bayern Munich. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They're one of the favourites to win the competition. They just brought in Harry Kane, who I believe was the one position they're already missing. I still don't know about the goalkeeper. If Neuer's going to be fit in time, hopefully he is for them, because he's a massive part of what they do. They even lost Jan Sommer, who was a big part of what they were doing last season in the second half of the season for Bayern Munich. But regardless, Munich should still go through. They're still the best team in that group. Second, I think Manchester United will come second. There will be a couple of those hiccups with Copenhagen and Galatasaray, but I think Man United got enough quality to get past those teams, especially at home, because Manchester United at home do really well in Europe. It's just the away games where they tend to struggle. Third place, I'm going for Galatasaray. They're my Turkish team, so I've got a little bit of allegiances there. But also, I do think they've got an actually better team than Copenhagen, who I've got in fourth. Now, the thing about Galatasaray is, right, they've got a lot of older players. They've got experience in Europe already. Plus, they've brought in some players like Wilfried Zaha, etc. Mauro Icardi's in there as well. And, you know, going away to Galatasaray is not a place you want to go. Going away to Turkey, full stop, is never, ever easy. So I think Galatasaray got a good chance here of passing this competition. So I've got them to finish third and Copenhagen fourth. Let's move on to Group B, which is, of course, my club, Arsenal. It's Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lens. This one, I think, is more difficult than people think, you know. So I see a lot of Arsenal fans going, oh, we got into the Champions League. Our group is the Europa League group and stuff like that. Boys, I'll be real with you. This ain't an easy group, man. Like, I know on paper, you're sitting there thinking, rah, we've avoided Bayern Munich. We've avoided the PSGs of the world, etc. We end up with Sevilla. And obviously with PSV, who had last year in Europa League, and Lens as well. All three of these teams that Arsenal got in their group have got the ability to beat them. There's four good teams. There's no elite team in there with Arsenal, but there's three opponents that are all good and could beat Arsenal on their day. There's no walkovers in that group. With that being said, I'd be very disappointed if we don't finish top of that group as an Arsenal fan. I think we need to finish top of that group. Now, who's going to come second? It's a toss-up for me. I'm going with PSV. Purely because I think that it's between PSV and Sevilla in my eyes. I think PSV, we obviously played them last year in Europa League as well. They were good away from home. They did really well against us in Europa League. It was almost impossible to beat them. Away from home, it was one of the better performances they had, one of the worst performances we had on the road. At home, we dispatched them 1-0. That was no problem. But I think PSV got a lot of quality. Also, Sevilla, they don't have any problems with dropping down to Europa League anyway, as it is, man. So third place goes down to Europa League. Sevilla will be fine with that. They'll end up winning the Europa League anyway. I think it's just written in the stars, to be honest. And then obviously, where's the Lens logo? His Lens. I've got them finishing in fourth. Could throw up some surprises, especially, look, obviously, I think it's their debut in the competition or something like that. So they're going to have their fans up for it. But I don't see them getting past, to be honest. I'm putting them in fourth position. Let's progress on to Group C, which is Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, and Union Berlin. So for this one, right, I think obviously the top two and the bottom two are very much split apart. I think this is one of the happier groups you can be in. Now, obviously, Real Madrid and Napoli are two top sides, but you know the two other teams, Braga and Union Berlin, they're not at the quality of them two. So I think it's a toss-up who's going to come first and second. I'm going to put Real Madrid top. I think Real Madrid's midfield is the best in the world right now. Jude Bellingham's absolutely cooking over there in Madrid. I think Napoli equally a good team. So obviously, they won Serie A last season, but I don't think they're going to be at the same quality as last year. They've retained their players like Kvara and Osimhen, but they've lost a couple of good players as well. Their centre-back Kim's gone to Bayern Munich, for example. So I'm going to put Napoli in second place there. And then I'm going to put Braga. Where's the Braga logo? I can't find it right now. There's Braga. Braga in third. And then obviously, who was the final one? It was Union Berlin, right? Where's Union Berlin's logo? I'm telling you, it's absolutely impossible to find where all these logos are, man. Where's Union Berlin? I can't find them. Are they even here? Oh, there we go. Union Berlin. Okay, and I put Union Berlin in fourth. I think Braga could throw some potential, could put a cog could put a span in the works. Sorry, but I don't think they've got enough to progress in the group really. And Union Berlin, I don't think they've got enough either, to be real. So they're dropping down. But Braga went to Europa League. Next, we move on to Group D. Benfica, Inter Milan, Salzburg, and Sociedad. Once again, like Group B, these are 4 decently matched teams. There's no standout super team in there. I know Inter Milan reached the final last season, but no standout super team in there. A lot of decent teams. So I'm going to put, to be honest with you, I'm going to put Inter Milan top. I think that's how it's going to be. I think the second place one, I'm gonna put Benfica. I think Benfica tend to do well in Europe, especially in the Champions League. They seem to go further than people anticipate a lot of the time. So they're very underrated in this competition. Third place, and I do believe will be Sociedad over Salzburg, and that of course means Salzburg will come bottom of the group in 4th. I think Sociedad were in pot 4, and they were the team to avoid in pot 4. To be honest with you, these Spanish teams always do decent in Europe for some reason, but I think they're going to go down to Europa League. Next, we're moving on to Group E. Final, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic. Another tough group, to be fair. Like, a lot of these groups, Group B, D, and E right here, there's no standout, like, super team. I do think, generally, the quality in Europe has actually decreased quite a lot, to be fair. There's not a lot of these top teams anymore. There's the Man City's, Real Madrid's, the Bayern Munich's. But other than that, I feel like a lot of the other teams are beatable nowadays. But, yeah, final, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic. 4 tough teams to play in there. I'm going to go for a bit of a surprise one. Is it a surprise? No, it's not. No, I'm going to go for Atletico Madrid first. I was thinking of Lazio, but I'm going to go Lazio second. Atletico Madrid first, Lazio second. Who should I put next? Final or Celtic? Yeah, I'm going to put final third, and I'm going to put Celtic 4th. Now, obviously, this group is impossible to predict. Genuinely, I think it's the hardest one to predict because it could go any route. You've got final who are top in terms of the pot, and I've got them finishing 3rd, which is crazy to think of. Just because I'm thinking the tradition and the history of Atletico Madrid and Lazio, given they're in the big leagues, right, in the La Liga and Serie A, I think they've got more quality teams around them, so they're more likely to progress. That could be just waffle, but that's the only thing I'm putting it down to. I don't really know, to be honest, but yeah, I've got them to finish in 1st, 2nd, and of course final 3rd, Celtic 4th. But that one, genuinely, I have no clue, man. I genuinely have no clue. Next, the group that I think everyone's looking forward to, Group F: Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle United. Newcastle made their Champions League debut in the group of death, man. The absolute group of death. One of these teams is dropping down. That's crazy to think of, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So, who do I think is finishing top of this group? I don't know, man. Obviously, your head says PSG, but they have lost Messi. They have lost Neymar. How much damage is Mbappe going to do? I'm not too sure. Borussia Dortmund's another one, but they've obviously just lost Jude Bellingham, etc. Ooh, I'm don't know. I don't know this one. I'm gonna go Dortmund 1, PSG 2, Milan 3, Newcastle 4. I've done it. That's what I've put. Now, obviously, that could all backfire, but that's what I've gone for, man. Like, obviously, Newcastle is their first season in there. They're a bit of the joker in the pack. You don't know what to expect of them, but I think out of all the teams, you probably expect them to finish last. AC Milan's another one. They reached the semi-finals last year. They've still got Rafael Leao, etc., and Mike Maignan. So they've still got some really decent players in there. So they obviously could progress. You never know. Italian teams tend to do well in these competitions. Paris Saint-Germain, I think they're going to come 2nd. Now, my head says 1st, but I think losing Mbappe, losing Neymar, losing Messi could hinder them quite a lot. How much is Mbappe really going to do in that competition by himself? I'm not too sure. I'm a massive fan of Mbappe. I think he's the best player in the world. But how much can he really bear of that weight on his ones? I'm not too sure. And Dortmund I put top. Honestly, I could put AC Milan to qualify as well. I don't know right now, man. I really don't know. Next, Group G: Man City, RB Leipzig, Red Star Belgrade, and Young Boys. Man City once again got the luck of the draw, man. That is just so typical of Man City to get the luck of the draw. Man City will finish top of that group, no questions asked. I'll put my house on that one. 2nd, I'm going to go for RB Leipzig. 3rd, I'm going to go for Red Star Belgrade. And 4th, I'm going to go for BSC Young Boys. I think it's going to go in the order of the pots, man. Man City 1, Leipzig 2, Red Star Belgrade 3, Young Boys 4. Genuinely, I think that's one of the most clear-cut ones you can get. I'm super confident over that one. I'm pretty much 90% sure this is how it will turn out with those 4 in order. And the final group we have is Group H: Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp. So Man City and Barcelona got super lucky with their draws, clearly. That's what happened there. With this one, I think Barcelona are clearly going to finish top. I don't think they've got a problem with that. I don't think Barcelona are the best team in Europe by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have them finishing top of this group. Next, I think we're going to have FC Porto. I think Shakhtar Donetsk do throw a little bit of a spanner in the works sometimes, but for the most part, I think Portuguese teams tend to do well in Europe. And I don't think the Ukrainian league is anywhere how it was in the previous 5-10 years ago when there used to be a lot of Brazilian players coming into Europe starting in the Ukrainian league and it used to be really good. Nowadays, I don't think it's of the same quality. They lost their best player, Mudryk, in January. So I think Porto will come second. I do think, that Shakhtar Donetsk will come third and go down to Europa League. And that will leave Royal Antwerp, the Belgium side, I do believe, dropping down to the nothing, just bouncing out of Europe, finishing fourth. But those are my final predictions for every single group in the UEFA Champions League. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section. Please do let me know as well. And if you are new around here and love keeping up with football-related content on this channel, I know it is the international break and it's a little bit dry, but trust me, this is the place for me. Make sure you subscribe down below. I'm already to 5,000 subscribers and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future video on this channel. I've been Uefa. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in and hope to catch you all in my next one.